to the point there. Now, the move to get the AstraZeneca vaccine out to different countries has been driven by Congressman Krishnamurthi. He's a member of the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus Crisis. He's in his constituency in Schaumburg in Illinois and joins us now. Thank you very much indeed for your time. You must be very pleased, but perhaps more to the point, where should the vaccines go?
Well, thank you so much for noting this small victory. I've been arguing for some time that we need to release our unutilized stockpile of AstraZeneca vaccines to the rest of the world. How the Biden administration plans to allocate it, we're not exactly sure. We're awaiting details. But the fact that they are willing to do so is a big deal, because up till now, they have not indicated that that was the path they were headed in. So we're looking forward to getting the vaccines to people where we can save lives.
So it's been a real frustration from your perspective to see the way in which the Biden administration has been so reluctant.
Yeah, I think that the Biden administration has taken a lot of very good steps to provide additional resources to countries hard hit. And of course, the vaccination effort here in the United States is going very well. However, when you see the fire, the COVID fire raging in a place like India or Argentina or Brazil, for that matter, it's up to us to go and help to douse out the flames. Because if you don't, that fire will reach our shores. In India alone, there are more than 700 variants coursing through the country, and it only takes one of those variants to overpower our vaccines, and then we're all in soup at that point.
Right. The trouble with the vaccine from a US perspective is it still hasn't got the regulators' approval. So can you foresee how it's going to be shipped out to India, for example, or Argentina, you mentioned, whichever country, before that happens?
Well, actually, the Biden administration said that they want to conduct some kind of brief safety review before shipping it out. I personally believe that we need to err on the side of expediting these shipments, especially to countries such as India and others that have already conducted a safety review of this vaccine. As you know, the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and effective, and we need to get it into people's arms right away to really stem the crisis.
Do you think that there is a turning point in the US to a degree, at least? I mean, we're talking about an AstraZeneca vaccine here, which doesn't have approval in any case, but there is a readiness perhaps now within the administration to say, we're doing pretty well on vaccines. We can now afford to sort of ease up a little bit and show a bit more willingness to help other countries?
I think so. I think that not only is it the morally right thing to do, and it's the right thing to do from the standpoint of compassion and love and our shared humanity, it's in our best interests as a country. Because what we've discovered very quickly is that, unfortunately, the COVID-19 virus knows no borders. And so wherever it lurks in any part of the globe, if it travels, it will reach the U.S., and therefore we will be back at square one if we don't deal with it everywhere in the world. Yeah,
at this point, and you make that point that that's a self-interested perspective, because it's going to affect Americans as it's going to affect everyone else. Does it worry you at all that when you talk about the making available the raw materials needed to create vaccines, and this is a hugely complex arena, isn't it, in terms of different products here, that so many of them are concentrated in relatively few countries, the US and certain parts of Western Europe?
That's a very good point. The concentration of these vaccine raw materials I saw are in about 30 countries, roughly speaking. And some of the the most rare of the materials are even fewer than that. And so we have to be concerned about the vaccine supply chain. I personally think that the fact that the United States, India, Australia, and Japan, as part of the Quadrilateral Initiative, designated India as spinning up 1 billion doses of vaccine to provide to Africa and Southeast Asia is an indication that we are starting to think more globally about where we want to source vaccines and to make sure that countries will be able to receive their vaccines from different places in case of supply disruptions. And that, by the way, goes for a lot of materials, not just vaccines, as we've unfortunately learned during this COVID pandemic.
Okay, Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, David.